Boom.
Ring, 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 hello, simps, and also
God
virgins.
damn it.
And welcome back to Krown's magical prediction game.
Awesome pics. Great size. Looking solid, thick, and tight. Keep us posted on your continued progress with any new progress pictures or video clips. Show us what you got, Bitcoin. Want to see how freaking huge, solid, thick, and tight you can get. Thanks for the motivation. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It's a lovely Monday morning over here. Bitcoin's doing girthy green dildos in my fucking face during the overnight session, and I missed the easiest trade of the last goddamn week. Anyways, with that in mind, Bitcoin really is looking solid, thick, and tight, and this is a nice fun day today. Ha ha ha. Welcome back, everyone. Good morning to you. Wake the fuck up! Bitcoin's moving, baby, and we are back around 56,500. So looking good, seeing the continuation that we spoke about from yesterday. That is all good in the hood right there. And I suspect that now would be a good time to actually focus in on the CrownGen application, which can be found at app.crowngen.net. By the way, it's 100% free, and holy shit, 7 people have already disliked this video. My lord, everyone hates me! Everyone hates me today. Now it's not just one person who waits for my videos to go up before they dislike. It's like multiple people. Holy shit, man. People are setting their alarms just to dislike this video. Dear Lord, man. Dear fucking Lord. Anyways, with that said, I don't hate you, man. I hope that your day goes better. Let me just pull up a footrest as well, because I desperately need it right here. Anyways, what do we see on the CrownGen application, which, by the way, can be found in the link description below if I didn't already tell you, and it is also for the price of $0.00. We do see Bitcoin dominance still heading up, which Bitcoin is soaking up pretty much all coins on all of these moves, whether it be to the upside or the downside. You probably noticed that. And this would probably be a good day to check in on Bitcoin dominance. And realistically, the more, to be honest, the more important chart for Bitcoin dominance is probably the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing. Anyways, with that in mind, we see that fear and greed index is at about a 71 right now, and you would expect that after about a $20,000 unabated rally. So not bad, or actually getting close there, I guess. $17,000 thus far. Anyways, with that in mind, do we see any big winners from the last 24 hours? Yeah, dydx on the winners list again. Stacks, Harmony, MDEX, Madex, Arweave Red, Nem, Dick Red, Shiba on there again, actually, and Perp Protocol. Let me just turn off the alerts right now. We'll get to that soon enough. Oh, there he is. What's up, Spencer Smith? Gay for TA, bruh. Hello, bruh. I'm feeling solid, thick, and tight right now too, man. Anyways, let's get in the market data tab over here. Let's see what we got going on, as we do see global open interest continuing to creep up. We're at about 11.25 billion right now. To reference that, we did see in September 7th Dumbola at about just under 13 billion. So we are creeping our way up there. And at some point, you know, I do look at this as very, 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 very likely to get our next sort of decent sized pullback, and probably does put in a higher low on the daily, and probably that is going to be the last major one in my opinion. Perhaps yes. I mean, we can talk about points failure for that, but a bit of a consideration right there, I should say. Anyways, global leverage ratio also creeping up as well, but still not actionable. Of course, have to be very careful with the way that I relate those concepts sometimes, because those ones seem to get misheard a lot. But more importantly, with this, it's certainly a consideration, but it's just not actionable yet. And until Bitcoin really takes out even the bottom side of our medium-term consolidation that we spoke about over the last few days at 53,700, it's not even really a consideration. However, right now we just have continuation. Global funding rates continue to trend up here as well. Not super, concerning just yet. I want to see this get above 0.1% before this is, really actionable here. But you are starting to pay to hodl your longs, as you would expect. But this is good. I mean, these are kind of like the same levels that you saw coming out of the last major consolidation before a break of the all-time highs, going back to November actually of last year. Anyways, also having a nice little laugh in the background right there. And I think right now would be a good time to actually, let's go check it on the 4th page before we move on. Yeah, hash rate continues to move upwards and onwards. Honestly, when it comes to fundamentals, hash rate really seems to get a lot of things incredibly well. What do I mean by that? It actually, it does seem to me to lead price action. A strong hash rate is good, and whale ratio continues to trend down here as well. So that is also theoretically good, as well, as it does suggest that there's less potential selling or potential selling on price action. Anyways, with that in mind, time to go into the charts themselves. Let's start off right on over here today. And what do we have? Oh, Bitcoin resolved the range. Hey, not bad right there. Nice girthy green dildo closure on a 4-hour time frame above our 55,800 level right there. Of course, fake outs can happen, and they can definitely happen, is what I should say. But for right now, we do have a pretty damn good setup. And for what it's worth, that stupid fucking, I hate these squiggly LARP lines. You see them on Twitter all the time, and it's just like, yeah, delete the ones that don't go your way and keep the ones that do. But whatever, man. It is kind of fun. And over the weekend, you can typically, do something like this. Like, all right, we're probably going to range. You're probably going to see a washout. You're probably going to see both a fake out to the upside and the down. So we've got pretty much that, not necessarily on the same time frame as this. What really did it was actually Bitstamp getting a major wick down. There's your non-emergency pullback right there, Mr. D, man. Holy shit. And that actually would be my target on a breakdown of our current range now. No longer $52,000. But for right now, things are looking more or less good. And why do I also say that? Well, I do see that BBWP on the 4-hour is really starting to expand right here from low levels, similar levels that we saw back in October breakout. Early October, I should say, and in middle of September as well, and of course early September, and even even the one before that as well, all putting in double-digit moves in a percent format. So looking good right there. And in this case, obviously all momentum oscillators are pointed up to the north side. We can check in on our 4-hour Stokes over here. Actually, 2 days what I'm on right now, but let's actually, well, that's certainly up. But let's go see what the 4-hour looks like right here. 55,850, actually directly on our pivot right here. Actually, so as long as Bitcoin is above 55,800, I don't look at this as a fake out or anything. I look at this as very likely to travel towards the path of least resistance, which in this case is still to the upside. Short term, that would imply a target somewhere around about $58,000 based off of this, what would be an ascending triangle right here. Let me actually get rid of that for right now because it's just, well, whatever. It's not relevant anymore. But you do have basically higher lows right here. And I also spoke about this on Elliot Trade's channel, but when I used to see shit like this when I first came into cryptocurrency land, it used to scare the shit out of me because I came from traditional land. It's like, oh, we have some obvious selling going on. It's a reversal. Let's get short. No, it's always trend first, baby. And what happened right around there? Just another higher low right on the fucking 21 as well. I mean, textbook shit right there. It's a game of liquidity, baby. It's no longer a Game of Thrones. It's a game of liquidity. So technically speaking, there would be a target of about $58,000 on this. Do I think that things would stop there overall on like medium-term timeframes? Probably not. I do suspect that Bitcoin does gun for the greater move now, of which I'm still looking somewhere around our early May breakdown levels on that lower high, just around $59,000. Perhaps even gets a wick up to low 60s, completely fine as well. But ultimately, I would be cognizant of this region right here, also in line with the volume profile. The last of the high value nodes really comes within that region, so I do like comes within that region. That's a good way to relate that concept. But ultimately, I would be looking for Bitcoin to find a little bit of pushback around there. And personally speaking, I do think that it'd be relevant to be looking for a daily, can you ban this very interesting person? Anyways, it's like, Jesus Christ, man. It's like, imagine that you set your alarm in the early morning hour. I mean, like, this must be dead of fucking night, because I know who that is. And it's like, it's a fucking dead of night for you, man. It might be better to go sleep, Anyways, we'll just discard that for right now. But yeah, the reason why I do think that would be relevant to probably be looking for, potential local high on Bitcoin around that point, and potentially even that does set it up for the next move down to its next higher low, is also because daily BBWP, which we can see right on over here, is really starting to get up there. We did get actually past 90 percentile, I believe, right before the weekend. And with that in mind, I don't think that this rally has too much more to go to the upside before we do play out a more prolonged consolidation. Now, again, long term, all higher term timeframes are bullish right here. And by the way, I didn't even speak about this yesterday, but it is relevant right here. And that would be the bi-weekly. We actually closed a bi-weekly yesterday, and the bi-weekly has completely engulfed the past lower high that we had in from late August, obviously, or I guess early September, realistically. Just on a different time scale right here. So this is obviously good. And we do even have hidden bullish ever to be confirmed on that last low as well. And bi-weekly RSI gets back into the bullish control zone. All of these are good things. And, do I think that things are going to, stop at low 60,000 or upper $50,000 for forever? No, it's very likely going to be a bit of a, a daily consolidation right there. And then probably does lift it onwards and forwards. Also weekly close as well. So even the most conservative traders now, you don't have a weekly downtrend, obviously. You got your close year above about $52,000. So looking really, really good right there as well. Weekly RSI also in a position of strength here too. So again, I speak about this a lot of times, and so I want to follow up on this as well. A lot of the times your first test into the bullish control zone gets rejected like this. That's what we saw in basically early September. Pretty damn normal stuff. This one, then, you could even look at this from an RSI perspective, putting in a higher low right here, and then your second test into the bullish control zone typically stays there for a while. So this is looking really, really good on the whole right now. And even the weekly jewel is kind of flipping around for another potential hot or long signal. That's actually in a position of strength right there. So with all of that in mind, all higher term timeframes are obviously bullish right here. 5-day, of course, as well, which is going to be closing tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And by the way, 5-day BBWP expanding from these territories down here is suggesting that we're looking at certainly more than a double-digit percent move. But to compare this with the past, we have seen, several similar reads to this. The last time was coming in from late July, obviously, off of our last major bear trap right around here. And that put in about a 72% move to the upside from bottom to top. Not bad, you might say. Of course, the one before that was with some downside displeasures, bringing us down about 51% right there from top to bottom. Not bad as well. And then we have a few other iterations that we can go over. This one here, namely about almost 100% over the next couple months, and realistically just extends straight up from there. And then this one a little bit more on the shallow side, but still relevant, about a 40% move to the upside. So I think that's about where we're at right now. In fact, coming off our current lows, let's just see. Yeah, we're currently actually a little bit below that, 34.25%. But here's the thing, BBWP is barely even expanding right now, and we're already 40% up. So I suspect that this one does have some legs on it. And if we were to play around with numbers, you know, just adding, I don't know, let's say another 40% on top of that, to bring it up to 80%. Where does that put Bitcoin at? About 75,000 bucks. Well, that sounds interesting now, doesn't it? Because I think that might just be lining up with some Fibonacci targets over here too, which I can plot for you right now, of which, do we have it right there? What do you know? The 2-spot extension coming in right around 75,000 bucks overall. There will be stops along the way, obviously. I mean, nothing just goes up in a straight fucking line, but looking at this right here, you can see the order of operations is actually pretty much directly in line with all of the areas that we spoken about is what I'm trying to say. Some like this right here, looking at the 414 is sort of the next short-term to medium-term target. It probably plays out a bit of a range between there in the 272. The 1618 is kind of where I would draw the line at as like the most before I'd be looking for a bit of a a bit of a pullback on the daily, and very likely does set in that higher low. So again, it depends where Bitcoin gets to first before we actually put in a bit of a local high. That's going to judge my pullback targets. But let's say that it puts it in around just 60,000 bucks. I'd probably be looking at mid to low I'd be looking at low 50s, maybe 51 to 52. If Bitcoin goes all the way up to about 65,000 bucks before doing it, then I'd probably be looking more along the lines of 56 to 57 in this case. So I do think that there will still be another chance. Again, I don't think that the daily has like too much more to go here before we do play at a bit of a pullback. But for right now, things are looking good, obviously, and all momentum oscillators are pointing northwards, which is generally a good signal. And we even see daily RSI maintaining in the bullish control zone here as well. So looking nice and strong. I'm gonna take a sippy sip of this coffee. LT says, did Elsa glue pubic hair to your head? No, man, I actually grow it myself. In fact, thank you for asking though. Anyways, did we see over here? Yeah, I don't think that I addressed this just yet as well. Technically speaking, the weekly did not close above the topside trailing band, but closing this close to it anyways is good, so to speak. Obviously, we already saw the 5-day close above it on my most important chart over here, which would be CME, and this is just continuation, man. We're very likely to see 60,000 bucks, probably even this week. It looks good, man. It looks good. So that brings into the question, are the moons fake? Are the moons not real anymore? Well, I suspect that one iteration out of the last, I don't know, 20 or 30 or so being a bad signal, not necessarily going to destroy it for myself, but yeah, this one not, it wouldn't be my first call. This is what I'm trying to say. It wouldn't be my first call for that. Anyways, what else do we want to get into before we get into the old chatties there? Yeah, we should go talk about traditional markets really, really quickly. So I do want to bring up one thing. Hold on, let me check my phone. I got a text message about this just from someone who I actually trust. And yeah, so FOMC is going to be meeting November 3rd to 4th, and that's kind of when we expect tapering to start. So when tapering, when tapering talks really do start and like it actually becomes actionable, we do expect traditional markets to, play out that downside. So I'm still more or less overall bearish on traditional markets. And while we probably do see a pop back up here this week, in fact, moving back up even north of 15,000 bucks is, somewhat likely here. Ultimately, I am very much on, lower high watch here as the trend is down right now, and the trend is your friend. And technically speaking, shouldn't be looking for the next leg up above 15,000 bucks until we actually do take out the current, the current highs right here just below 15,000. But if that does happen, I would look for the next move up somewhere around about 15.2 to 15.150 or so is where I'd be looking for, and probably a lower high right there. With that in mind, NASDAQ obviously looking toppy, but we are in a bouncy area more importantly. So I don't think that it's too wise to be getting like super bearish at this exact moment right here. We got the moves to the downside already that we were looking for. Right now, I'd probably be looking for maybe one more probe somewhere in like the mid $14,000 territory, and then very likely does bounce up there. And then, if this would be your proverbial bull trap that's going to happen long term, wouldn't be surprised to see this thing work its way down somewhere around 14,000 bucks, maybe a little bit below there over time, of course. we should also go check out SPY futures as well, of which I'm sure King Cosmic is here. Maybe he is, maybe he's not, but we'll do it anyways because we love him. And what do we see right here? Basically same thing. You know, might be a little bit of probing to the downside short term. In fact, if I look at the daily, it doesn't really look like that. Daily says that we probably do take out Friday's high, and if that happens, I'd be looking for this one to put in a nice little rally first, probably somewhere around, you know, mid 4400 region. 4450 to 4460 is completely fair game, and then I'd be on lower high watch there for the weekly specifically, because technically speaking, right now on the weekly we do not have a lower high. We do have no, we do not even have lower lows as well. So fair enough, we don't even have a downturn really on that time frame just yet. The daily does, however, obviously. So, you know, one thing before the next, the order of operation goes onwards and forwards here, and of course the monthlies are as they were before, a nice little bearish engulfing dildo. So I'm a bit more biased to the downside coming into end of this year here. Do still think that we're going to be getting that correction, but what's very interesting to me is that we're seeing the first time really in history during a very pivotal moment where Bitcoin is doing something completely different to traditional markets. It's neither positively correlated nor negatively correlated. It is uncorrelated, and this is actually important, or at least I think it's important, because this is kind of where you'd expect a Bitcoin to shine, right? This is what it was essentially made for. So, you know, very, very interesting stuff going on right there. Anyways, what else do I want to speak about? Maybe nothing else. Maybe we just go through the hourly, because I know that King Cosmic will like to look at that as well. Short term, a little bit of a pushback right around 43.80 or so, but above there, you know, especially on a closure, I'd be looking for this one to rally up towards 43.80, or sorry, not 43.80, but 43.90 to 4400 or so, and then we'll come back after that. For right now, this does look like it's going to try a little bit, but I'd like to see that confirmed first and foremost, and then we can spill that on over into the daily. Obviously, here's where to get very immediately bearish on traditional markets, SPY namely, with the daily closure below 43.69, great number as well. I'd be looking for another retest of the lows, very likely another bounce off the lows, but that bounce very likely to be just that, just a bouncy bounce before further continuations to the downside. So keep that in mind if you are trading traditional markets, as this is probably going to be a pretty fun week actually. I suspect the volatility is once again ticking up. Anyways, should we look at Dixie as well here? Why not? Where's my old Dixie? There we go, 94. Still bullish as fuck on this thing, but that's going to destroy all the crypto moon boys narratives with the dollar is falling, Bitcoin goes up. It's like, no, actually they can both go up, in fact, because Dixie is the dollar's value relative to other fiat currencies, not in absolute terms, which there's not really a thing for unless you just measure it against assets, which obviously it's been falling versus that on the majority for the last, year or two. Anyways, with that in mind, yeah, still bullish as fuck on this thing. Wouldn't be surprised to see it make a leg up towards 97 plus over the next 3 to 4 months, and probably works its way up towards 100 over the next year to year and a half. Anyways, I'm gonna take another sippy sip of this. Nice one. Very good. Okay, cool. So let's turn on the alerts over here. I'm gonna go see what Elsa has lined up for myself. I'm gonna put it on the trade aggregator over here. I absolutely love this thing, by the way. Big shout out to Mr. Coop for this one. I've been finding a lot of value in this. It's actually very, very useful if you want to analysize flows. The old flows, they're actually rather powerful. At the end of the day though, man, trend. In fact, he said something rather profound to me the other day, which I totally agree with, which was this. It's like, most people think that TA is just, it's too low IQ for them to like care about. It's like, yeah, at the same time though, trend. Very, very true, man. What's up, Smith? I see you, brother. Hey, Wally, good morning to you as well, man. It's that pesky Wally kid again. God damn it, Wally, grow up, you motherfucker. Hope all people, you as well, sir. Badger 4 hour daily, please. Hey, man, glad to hear. Okay, Badger. We got a youngin' here, man. We got a youngin' who's getting a little bit too comfortable, huh? Anyways, Badger looking good, man. So I believe last week we looked at it and we said this is probably flagging out for a move to the upside. I'd say the same thing right here. I think that this one's going to give another test towards the prior highs in early August, that is, at around 33 1/3. Personally speaking, I do think that it will move its way upwards and onwards from there, because if you are going to be bullish on Bitcoin, you kind of got to be bullish on altcoin USD pairings, not necessarily altcoin BTC pairings. And this one's okay. I mean, it's fine. Weekly, I imagine, closed relatively well as well. Yep, it did. Maybe a short-term move as much down to like $25 or so, but ultimately, I'm looking further northwards, over the next month or two, maybe like $40 or so. Short-term, just continuation, man. Invalidation below about 26 1/4 for the short term, and I'd be looking for a move down to that low $25 number. But for right now, man, I don't think that's what's happening. This is just continuation, man. It looks good. Looks good, man. No more complicated than that. So there you go, sir. And hopefully that was helpful. Mike Appy says your hair is bullish AF. I got it styled. Can you tell? AAP, what's up, man? SCRT on the daily. Okay, Secret Network has a private bridge with Monero. Okay, interesting. SCRT USD Secret Network. All right, looks good on the 4 hour. Let's see what are you looking at though? Daily specifically. New all-time highs. It looks like, or is it? Pretty much already there. Probably does push back a little bit on the retest here, optimize at about $8.50 or so. I think that's what we're getting right here, right now. You know, could come down as low as, you know, as low as $4 and be completely fine. Long term though, I do think that you are getting ready for a break of your all-time highs, and very likely will make new all-time highs. You know, you'll have some areas of interest to the upside right here that are going to be pretty damn obvious, actually. In fact, yeah, you're actually selling off on the 1618, so that is pretty common here. You know, it could very easily come back down to $5. Long term though, if that's what you're looking for, I'm looking north of $10. This is fine. This is good. This is obviously an accumulation phase over here. Here's a reaccumulation and upwards and onwards on the higher term timeframes. Daily, you know, probably pulls back a little bit from here, but it really depends what sort of time frame you're angled towards. BBWP is absolutely redlined on pretty much any time frame. 4 hour is 100 percentile. Daily is also 100 percentile. Probably grinds out this area a little bit more. Maybe pops back down after that, and then gives another try towards new all-time highs. But this is long term good. So that's kind of the main message that I do want to have right there. What's up, Jack? Hey, yeah, let's go check out Ethereum Bitcoin. So this one probably gonna have to be bearish on it, just because Bitcoin is soaking up the altcoins here. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, 6.2 million satoshis. So we did get the continuation to the downside. Not necessarily exactly what I was looking for right there, but I would be looking for bounce off this region just by the nature of it being the 200 simple and 200 exponential average on the daily. Could maybe get one more wick lower towards 6.1 million satoshis, and then I'd be looking for a big old bounce solo right there. But here's the thing, man. I do suspect that this is going to take some time, obviously, because higher term time frames are pretty wrecked here. 5 days suggests that we do go lower overall. Weekly suggests that we go lower as well. I mean, this could get much worse, actually, down to 5.2 million satoshis. So Bitcoin very likely going, this is a good sign for Bitcoin, obviously, and it's going to be a good sign for altcoin USD pairings as well, but just not their Bitcoin pairings, it looks like, as this is in free fall. So short term, probably a bit of bounce action right here. But here's the thing, man, heavily bearish as long as you're below about 6.7 million satoshis. You know, you should, I mean, it's kind of like common knowledge, you should kind of be looking to at least scalp the 200s on the daily right here, but this is the bearish setup overall. So how does this kind of play into the higher term timeframes? Yeah, all higher term timeframes, I'm still pretty damn bullish on all higher term timeframes here, but I expect that this will come ultimately down to the low 5 million satoshi regions, and that's probably going to be the next major area. So with that in mind, Ethereum Bitcoin, you know, short term bouncy, yes, can bounce up all the way to 6.4, even 6.5 million satoshis, but as long as we're below that last rejective high right here, I do look for that to just be a bounce, and, you know, getting ready for continuation over the next month or two to the downside as Bitcoin takes the reins on this market and leads. We also even see BBWP starting to expand from really low levels here, and I mean, this is just, well, you have your trend in mind. So again, short-term bouncy, but long-term, well, hard to love as long as below 6.7 million satoshis. So hopefully that was helpful, sir. And there you go, man. Let me just polish off this coffee over here. Do we need more mods? I don't know. Do you feel like you need more help? Yes or no? Well, yeah, I mean, you're the fucking head mod right now, because I don't see Nimbo or Caretaker here. Caretaker's probably sleeping, man. Caretaker's like the exact opposite schedule of me. BK says, sir, FTM USD. Yeah, let's follow up on this one. This one was looking pretty damn good last week, so I expect that this one's doing pretty damn good right now. And it is. Hey, not bad. Not bad. Let's actually record this one here, too. Here we have Fantom symbol FTM versus the dollar. We recorded a few videos on this one last week being pretty damn bullish on it, and I think I'd still be bullish on it, actually. Looking at that weekly closure right there, really strong, really powerful. Wouldn't be surprised to see new all-time highs maybe this week, very likely next week. In this case, we do see weekly RSI back in the bullish, or deeply in the bullish control zone, looking really strong right there overall. Let's actually go down to the daily right here, see where we're at. Short term, could we have a short term move to the downside at like 182, or all the way down to 169? Yep, that's completely fine. Overall, you got your higher lows as long as you're above about 145. So looking good right there. Short-term time frames like a 4 hour just is a continuation of uptrend right here. In fact, this is a nice healthy consolidation. I look at this as flagging out, namely due to the BBWP coming down throughout that whole consolidation, now starting to pop back up. If momentum also does follow through on that, which right now they're not, but they are coming into bouncy areas for both the Joule and 4 hour RSI, then I would be looking for this one to pop back up around your $2.25 to $2.30 high, and very likely go for that continuation phase that we were speaking about. So did we hit any of the long-term targets that we were looking at from last week? Let's just pop this on right here. Yes, we did hit the 272. Typically don't see like major highs around that region, so I don't think that we've seen like the highs just yet. I do expect that this one will move towards $2.90 to $3 first before we see any sort of like major daily high put in, and then come back and reanalyze it after that. I mean, long term it's still pretty damn good, to be fair. So let's go see what momentum oscillators look like from this angle over here, and then come up with an invalidation point as well. 4 hours is going to be pointed up and north as long as we close above 208.5, looking pretty damn good right now. Dare I say you're probably looking at the next higher low on the shorter term timeframes. Daily is going to be pointed up above 236, 237 or so. So not necessarily convinced that it's ready to trend just yet to new all-time highs. And actually weekly will be pointed up with the closure above $2 by end of week. So looking pretty damn good on the whole. You know, I'd probably be looking for short-term upside right here. And then if you do start to close above, let's call it 228 specifically on a 4 hour, or just even take out these wick highs, I'd probably be looking for that continuation phase to, well, in this case, probably looking at like 2.5 to 269 medium term, and then long term, you know, north of $3 or so. It looks good, man. So where'd my invalidation be on this? Depends what time frame you're kind of looking at, but you know, you got your higher lows as long as you're above 145, so that's not really helpful right there. I'd go as low as about 170 in this case for the daily. If you're looking at a 4 hour time frame, well, we already got the ranges set in right there, but short-term timeframes would suggest a base at about 185 to 180 or so. Overall, though, pretty damn good chart. One of the best that we have seen in the past week here, and I'd still remain with long-term goodness on this as long as those conditions are met. Hopefully that was helpful. Nice one, man. Let me just finish this baby off. What's up, Romeo? Or is it Romeo or Romeo? Romeo sounds so exotic, man. Wish I had a name like that. Love your channel, brother. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Thank you for everything. My pleasure, sir. I'm just sharing my stupid opinion on the internet, man. That's all. Thoughts on Luna, please? Sure. Okay, so we got Terra Luna US Derp over here. Nice. We're getting the pullback that we spoke about from last week. Fucking nice, baby. All right, here we go. All right, here we have Terra Luna, symbol LUNA, versus the dollar. We did a few videos on this one last week. My main disposition was, you know, long term, this one obviously looks really good, but short and medium term, probably looking for a bit of a pullback. And I believe that that's what we're kind of getting right here. And I suspect that this one still could very easily come down to, you know, 35 to 34 bucks. But again, make no mistake about it, this is good long term. So it depends what time frame you're on realistically. If you're on a 5-day right here, obviously this is, you know, strong. if we're on a weekly as well, which just closed yesterday, again, strong as well. Could we deal with a move down to like 34, 35 bucks? Absolutely, yes. I have no measures with this one long term, especially as long as we're above, I mean, 25 to 26 bucks. So that does look good. With that in mind, let's go down to the 4 hour time frame right here and come up with a bit of ranges. Short term, looking for a little bit of downside, about to get a silver across the downside right here. Volatility also increasing, so I'm looking for a trend continuation. Short term, somewhere around about 37, maybe a little bit under 37 or so. Do we get a wick down to that 35 level? Perhaps yes. Ultimately, though, I would be looking for bounce around that region. Long term, again, very good. Nothing bearish about this long term, but that's, you know, months away realistically. For right now, this one was kind of a first mover, so it's probably going to spend its time consolidating alongside Bitcoin moving. Let's go check it out from a momentum oscillator perspective over here and just see if they agree with what I'm postulating here. Yeah, weekly is going to be pointed down as long as below 44 bucks. Okay. Daily is going to be pointed down as long as we're below about 44. And 4 hour is going to be pointed down as long as we are, or sorry, pointed up as if we do close above 39.5. So I do think that you're getting towards a very short-term bouncy area right here. Probably one more move to the downside, bounces from there. you know, how high can the bounce get? I don't have any particular region, but just playing out a range between about 45 and kind of 35 is where I'd be looking for. And you know, if it can spend like a week or two doing that, that would look really, really good coming into, you know, early November perhaps. But for right now, you know, short term, a little bit of downside, then looking for bounces and then come back to it after that. And hopefully that was helpful for Terra Luna. Yes? Yeah, do not log into my fucking account. Christ, what is wrong with you? Like, don't log into my account. Wait, what's up? What's up, Alex? There he is. All right, Alex Switch, our other lovely moderator, is in the house as well. So thank God for that, baby, because Elsa can't trust her as far as you can throw her. Anyways, we got two for Luna. So BK would maybe we just swing back to BK. Maybe he has something else that he wants to look at instead, because we just did that one. Matt Rutledge says XRP daily and weekly. Sure, man. Let's go check this one out, which I have right here. Okay, all right. And I believe last week we were looking for some upside on this one. Looks like we got that. Looking good, actually. Here we have Ripple, symbol XRP, and actually I've been educated on this from some of the comments that XRP is not Ripple. Fair enough. All right, well, whatever. XRP, Ripple, I'm going to use them interchangeably. I understand that it's not the same thing, but it's just easy to say. Sorry about that. I do understand it can be a little bit confusing, so my apologies there. Anyways, looking at short-term timeframes right here, looks like we got the move that we were looking for last week, up to about $1.20, so that's good. Now coming back down and looking like we're setting a higher low on the 4-hour time frame right here. So with that in mind, yeah, we actually do see BBWP starting to go back into contraction phase. That's fine. That's completely fine right here. You know, I don't have any issues with this thing, especially as long as above about $1.09, $1.10 region. Until that gets taken out on a 4-hour time frame, I look for this one to trade sideways and up from this region right here. This is actually fine. 5-day and weekly higher term time frames looking more or less good on the whole, and weekly just closed last night. This is pretty damn good as well. By the way, confirming some hidden bullish evidence right here off that last local low. I would be looking for this one to work its way back up towards $1.30 in the next couple, probably in like the next month or so. It looks okay. Let's go check it out from this angle as well and see if we're more likely to play out a little bit more of the downside move in the short term or not. Yeah, it would suggest that. 120 is a magical number on a 4-hour time frame right here. Hourly is going to be showing up as long as above 114. 12 hours going to be down as long as below 114 actually, and daily is going to be down as long as below about $1.20. So short term, a little bit of sideways is what it's looking like right here. Again, I do think that it might give you one more try down somewhere around about $1.13, $1.13 and a half or so. And I'll be using that as a bit of a short-term invalidation point. Below there, I would extend targets down to about 109 or so, and I would not look at this as like a failed rally attempt as long as you're above that level 109. Until then, short-term, a little bit of sideways, and then very likely an upside resolution, probably looking back towards 130 and... What? Oh, my bad. Well, whatever. We can do Ripple as well. Sorry. Apparently I got the wrong ticker over here. Anyways, there is XRP for you, and hopefully that was helpful. All right, XPR. All right, XPR. I'm so mean to you, sir. Just don't interrupt me while I'm recording a damn video. XPR. It's fine. I mean, it's pretty fucking good, man. Looks up to me, man. Not much history here, to be fair, but you know, if it does want to correct down, I'd be looking somewhere around just below 1.8 cent. Until then, man, 4 hours, just continuation of uptrend, and I'd only have an invalidation, or sorry, I'd only be even looking for that move down to like 1.8 cent. If you take out 2.1 cent to the downside, basically your current local low right there. Until then, looking at this one is likely to trade sideways and up from here. I mean, there's not much of a weekly to be looking at, but it is good for what it's worth. Same thing with 5 days, same thing with daily. The question is, do we come down and correct towards 1.8 cent first or not? I would be looking for that move only if you do take out the current 4-hour low. Until then, you know, generally long term, I suppose good, but there's also not too much history there as well. So difficult to get. What's up, Gemini athlete? Ren, 1 hour, 4-hour daily. Okay. Ren US Derp over here, and let's go see what we got. Try my alerts. Yeah, I did. 4-hour looking good. Actually, this one's turning the corner right here. I'd be looking for move up to about 116 and a half short term. Hourly, same thing. Good little reversal right here. Yep, looking for continuation. Very, very short term, like 115 or so. Daily. What do we have? Another higher low. Crazy, baby. Fucking crazy. Another hidden bullish evidence drive right there as well. Be looking for, I mean, this one's fine on all time frames, essentially. I'd only express caution on this one below a $1 even. $1 even, and then I'd invalidate all those ideas and look for this one to correct down towards like 85 cents first and come back to it after that. But for right now, man, most things looking fine, man. What's up, Shauna Twerk? Are you Elsa Twerk? There's no twerking in Dubai. GVSI stock on the daily and weekly. Okay, gotcha. GVSI. Good vibrations shoes. What the fuck? What the fuck happened right there? The hell? Did someone like slip and die while wearing their shoes or something? Like, what the fuck? This is a weird as hell looking chart. What the fuck? I'm always going to be very skeptical when I see a chart like this. I mean, this is a monthly and it's literally gone through like multiple months of barely not trading. If I had to call it though, I mean, this does look like a reversal. I just don't trust charts like this, but I'd probably be looking for another run towards 7 cents or so, and probably does trade up from there, but major invalidation and majorly bearish below 2.5 cents. So I'll say that as well. But I mean, look, I'm always going to be skeptical when I see a chart like that. It's not good long term. So you know, I guess if I had to call it, I would be looking for short term up, sir. Hopefully that was helpful, ma'am. Actually, Shauna Twerk. Kamikaze Creation says, hello, Krown. What's up, man? Bit of a pullback on FTM. How we looking on daily, weekly? We already looked at that one, so I think we're good there. Let me know if you wanted to see anything very specifically, though. Definitely go back to it. What's up, JDO? Thanks for the trading psychology series. Great, man. I'm glad to hear that is useful to you. By the way, it says there is one unavailable video is hidden. Can we view it? Obviously not. If it's hidden, it was probably like a bad upload or something. So it's, you know, if it's hidden, it's not relevant, man. Bob Lee says, hey man, first time comment. Well, good to meet you, sir. Just wondering whether the pi cycle indicator would still be in play. Got the April top pretty spot on. Yeah, I think Billy Badass was asking about this as well. So let's go address this right now. I think it was on this chart right here that I had it. Go see what we got. Let's turn this off. We're looking at bearish things right now. And where's my pi cycle? There we go. All right, so I think his question was like, when is a pi cycle actionable yet again? Well, the pi cycle is not really actionable until Bitcoin, one, gets back above the orange moving average, which I believe is a 111, and well, and also the short one as well. Wait, what is the short one here? Okay, it's a 350 versus a 111. Okay, very interesting. You know, it has to get back above both of them before it can be looked at as actionable again, in the sense that, you know, a downside signal is going to produce very likely another all-time high. In this case, it's been incredibly consistent over the history of time here, but as you can see, it's not until price action reclaims both of those major moving averages, and then you get the downside cross where it actually becomes very, very powerful and very accurate, actually, as we have seen in the past. Let me just finish off this. There we go. All right, sweet. Also, take a sip of this water as well. Ah, nice one. Okay, sweet. But yeah, that's all that I have to really say about that. So you can see right now that the top side, or sorry, the I guess that is the long moving average on that, is going to be all the way at $81,000. How the fuck does that, how could that work if price, how could an average be all the way up there? That is, that is weird. I mean, they're just simple moving averages from what I understand. Like, they're, how can you get an average that's higher than what price action has ever been, ever? Weird. Maybe I'm just thinking of math wrong. Well, whatever. I'm not a mathematician myself, so fair enough. We've seen it in the past before as well, so can't be, maybe my brain's just not working right now. In fact, probably isn't. But yeah, until it reclaims both of these, I wouldn't be looking at that as relevant, you know, for any sort of a downside signature. And in fact, credit to Shubbo in the Discord there for calling this one out as well. The orange moving average on this one actually does seem to be kind of a decent interpretation of where we are within the grand scheme of things. You know, when Bitcoin's above it, generally good. When Bitcoin's below it, generally bad. Kind of similar to the weekly 21 as well. The old memes of the market, baby. The old memes of the market. So there we go. Lovely. All right, let's see what we've got going on over here as well. What's up, Tokyo Channel? Yen versus dollar. Okay. Yeah, let's check it out. Or you mean reconnect, you shit? Yes! Fucking nice. Piece of garbage. All right, are we back? Are we back yet? I think we're back. All right, let me know when the chat is here again. Hopefully There we go. Okay, sweet. All right, we're good to go. We're good to go, baby. We are good to go yet again. This is good. I'm happy. All right. Thank the Lord for that. Thank the fucking Lord for that, huh? All right, sweet one. We good? Are we good? Please respond. Elsa, can you confirm? Yes. All right, we're good. What's up, Greg Smith? I see you over there, bro. I see you over there, brother. All right, I think we left off. We were looking at dollar yen for Mr. Tokyo Channel. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we are good to go yet again. Okay, sweet one. Looking at the daily right here. Yeah, I'm still macro bullish on this one, man. Massively bullish on this one. Long term, continuing its uptrend nice and slow in traditional land compared to crypto. Yeah, exactly, man. 4x moves at a glacial pace in comparison to, I mean, most other things, especially crypto. But looking at this right here, man, I'm still massively bullish on this. I would not be surprised to see this one over the next year or two all the way back up towards 120 or so. Uh-oh, did it wreck? Did it get wrecked again? Is it wrecked again? Okay, it is working. All right. Okay, cool. All right. Jesus Christ, man. Let me just double check over here. Okay, cool. All right, we're good. Motherfucker. All right, let's see. See what else we got. Let's see what else Elsa has lined up. Spencer Smith says, serious discussion, sir. I'm sensing some bearish divergence shavings on the daily, weekly on your hair. What? Remember my life in sun are long in your hair. Should I be concerned with my investment? Should always be concerned with your investment. If you're invested in my hair, it is highly volatile, and you can expect to lose all of your monies on my hairs, sir. What's up, Andrew Wickstead? Good afternoon from Australia. Hey, thanks, man. Hey, good afternoon to you as well. Could you look at VRA in the daily and 4 hour for continuation or any thoughts on retracement? Okay. Question is, if we're looking at a 4 hour, are we looking for retracement or continuations first and foremost, or on a daily as well? 4 hour looks fine. You know, if you do want to see correction down to 5.4 cents, it's completely fine. Daily, just continuation here, man. I don't see any reason to be looking at this as concerning, especially as long as you're above 5.3 cent. Below 5.3 cent, I would be looking for a correction all the way down, perhaps to 4.5 cent. But for right now, man, momentum oscillators are more or less bullish. See that volatility starting to point back up here as well. So probably looking for a move intraday, hidden bullish divergence on 4 hour RSI as well. I'd probably be looking for this one to trend, in this case, towards new ultimates first before any sort of like a major potential pullback. Looks good, man. Looks good. Most things in this market right now versus the dollar are looking very good for what it's worth. What's up, Junior Rays? Thank you for that, sir, but feel free to have a message as well. Sachin Sharma says, Mantra DAO, OM USD, daily and hourly. Sure, man. Okay. Just OM, Mantra DAO. Is this like, okay, so it's one of these. It's on Poloniex too. Jesus, man. Oh, okay, it's actually not that new, I guess. Anyways, hourly and daily. All right, daily. What are you looking for right here? Definitely weak, definitely a laggard. Not my favorite chart that we've seen today. Maybe we pulled up from Binance. Yeah, same chart over here as well. Here's where I'd be very, very bearish on it. Below about 21.5 cent, I would be looking for this one to retest back down towards 18.5, maybe even 18 even or so. Until then, you know, you kind of do have to give the majority of this market the benefit of the doubt, but it's definitely a laggard and definitely relatively weak. If you're looking at a 4 hour or an hourly for that matter, I would be looking for trend continuation below about just below about 22.80 or so. Until then, I'd probably be looking at this one as short-term bouncy. And I would say that this one's very likely to recover and follow the rest of the market, in this case to the upside, with an hourly closure back above about 24 cents. Until then, though, I do look at this one as very, very weak on its own. So it's going to need a strong Bitcoin in order for this one to pop back up north of a quarter. And again, below about 22.5. Especially on a daily closure, I'd be looking for this one to crumble down quite a bit. But yeah, not a good long-term chart, obviously. So kind of riding off the coats of the strength of the broad market here, rather than on its own merits, which is not the best sign. What's up, Bea Arthur's Dinkus Crown? Love you too, sir. I have TA questions as I learn, but need some answers. If I sign up for your classes, are you available for questions, or what should I do? Okay, so we do have a Discord community for that. However, I do not have my private message inboxes available any longer. Things just got too out of hand and I couldn't really handle it anymore. If you're looking for more like one-on-one help, I'm not the person to go to. I don't really have the time for that any longer. And I like to kind of spend my time doing other things. I know that kind of sounds or might come off as a bit of harsh or anything, but you know, if you're going to get into the TA program, for example, you get the program, not necessarily like one-on-one chats and what. I just can't do that for everyone. any longer. So unfortunately can't do that. But we do have a Discord community where you can ask questions in. I'm usually pretty active in there, but I would not go out of my way to make promises that I'll like answer every question at every hour of the day, because things do get a little bit too busy at sometimes. But typically speaking, you know, I am around, and especially if I'm, you know, summoned with the @ symbol, I'll usually respond. So again, you know, if you are looking for some more one-on-one, probably not a good fit. What's up, Jero? Good morning to you as well, man. Shib 4 hour and daily. Okay. All right. So let's see where Shib is. All right. So we called a move. We called a high on it. Then we called a move to 3,000. And then I was probably going to be looking for a move back down. But with the way that Bitcoin's looking, is that going to be likely here? Yeah, I'll still be looking. Well, man, did play this one pretty fucking well, man. Holy shit. It's still looking okay here. All right, here we have SHIB token versus the dollar on Binance, and I want to follow up on this one for the last few days, because we actually did a few videos on this one. So we called a high way back on the 7th of October, 7th and 8th of October, saying 3,000, just north of 3,000, going to be the high on that one. Then moving down to 2,000, we got that move, and then we said a bounce back up to 3,000. We've got all of that thus far. I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but just to kind of lead us into where we're at right now. Now, to be fair, this is actually fine right here. And I want to be bearish on some that is called SHIB token, but I also understand that this is not like your regular dog shit tokens. This is like this one actually has maybe some fundamentals behind it. Anyways, I would still express a bit of caution on this one, just because in this case, ranges are probably going to get it. But for what it's worth right now, I mean, as long as you're above 2,200, can't really be bearish on this thing. You do have an obvious range going on here, and if you do break below about 26 on a 4-hour closure especially, I'd be looking for another run at the lows at around 21 to 2,200 or so. Until then, though, I should, you know, based off my strategy, I should be bullish on this thing. 4-hour Julie have some positive curvature right there. We do see that BBWP is working off some very hot conditions, so that is, you know, that's to be expected after a pretty mega run like this as well. Same thing on daily as well. We hit 100 percentile multiple days in a row. You know, I think at best, you know, if you're bullish on this thing, at best it's going to range for a few days here, maybe even like a week or so. Personally speaking, I'm inclined to say this one probably does. That's the downside of it, and I'd be very confident in being like actually bearish on it below about 2150, especially on a 4-hour closure there, looking for big moves down after that to 1500, maybe even down to 1200 or so over time. But for right now, short term sideways, and sideways does favor the Boolaws here. So to be fair, do have to respect trend. In this case, probably looking at a short term move back up towards 2850, maybe even as much as 3000. Here's where I would get bullish on it for another move towards your prior all-time high, and very likely new all-time highs in this case. You know, maybe over the next week or two, that'll be with a 4-hour closure back above 3,000 in this case. Let's go look at it from this angle as well. You know, but majorly speaking, I'm probably just looking for this one to go sideways realistically. Let's see what we got right here. Daily's down as long as below 32. Okay. 12-hour is up as long as above 26. Interesting, actually. So short term a little bit more uppity. 4-hour up above 27, and hourly will be down below 27. So a lot of things pinned within that region. Again, what does that likely align with? Probably some of this. Probably something like that, if I had to guess. Not necessarily that it's going to break down right there. I shouldn't have done that actual one right there, but like something like that, and then maybe if it's going to break out, it looks something like that. I suspect I'd like to see a higher low somewhere in the lower 2000s regions overall. But hey, above that 3000 level, I have to be bullish on it again for another continuation on this trend. Momentum oscillators are suggesting another try actually. So take that as you will. But again, the obvious area is to get bearish on it. It's below about 2150 to 2200 or so, especially on a 4-hour closure. At that point, I'd feel a lot more confident looking for the old full retrace on the dog shit coins. Until then, you know, good, and should give it some merit. Weekly is just consolidating at the high. It's fine. Big ranges here though, man. Big fucking ranges here though. Even on the weekly, like you could come all the way down below 2000 and still be fine, I suppose. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for SHIB token. Nice one, man. Cairo, man, good morning to you, man. FTM BTC. Oh, the Bitcoin pairing. Okay. This will actually be interesting to see versus the Bitcoin pairing. Just for the simple fact that this one's been bullish. Yeah, this one's actually looking very good versus the Bitcoin pairing. 4-hour and daily. Okay. Daily is long-term bullish, but short-term corrective down to about 3,400. 4-hour. Same thing. I'm looking for a drive down here towards 34 to 3,500 Satoshis. Very likely a bounce there. I'd be long-term bullish on this thing as long as you're above about 3,100 Satoshis, even on a 4-hour. But yeah, short-term corrective here, and I expect that it will come down a little bit more. Long-term though, good. Long-term, very good. I mean, the weekly says that's probably another uptick. I mean, this is fucking strong, man. Really, really good right there. Okay, Romeo Trey Tino says, hey man, appreciate that as well. Luna, yep, we got that. We got that one. Actually, I think Elsa just sent me the same times there, so all good. What's up, Cameron? Hey, good morning to you as well, man. I feel stupid making money off of longs on days like this, but I must. Here we have Sol. All right, no problem. Versus the dog. Gotcha, man. All right, let's go check it out. Where is Sol? Sol has been more or less consolidating sideways for a while, and probably expected to do a little bit more of that, actually. Generally good, though. I mean, generally speaking, this is really good. You know, make no mistake about it. It's generally really, really good. Here we have Solana versus the dollar, as we like to say. Mr. Cameron Perkley is requesting this one. You want to look at a 30-minute and 2-hour. Okay, cool. All right, well, 30-minute, what are we looking for right here? A little bit sloppy on the 30-minute. Do have to be a little more downside going on something like this as long as we are below about 153. That also implies that if this thing does even just tick back above about 153, I would be looking for it to go on a nice little ride all the way up to about a buck 56, a buck 57 or so. And that look really, really good and bleed on over into the medium and higher term timeframes, obviously, or more like medium term timeframes. Buy hourly. Down, you know, looking like a little bit of downside from here. But I need to be very specific in stating this. I'm not bearish on this asset. I do think it could very easily come down to, you know, to test it around 130 to 135 yet again. That's completely fine though. This one is long-term good and sideways between, yeah, basically the same areas that we've been looking for the last like month or so here is completely fine, man. I wouldn't be bearish on this thing, especially as long as you're above about a buck 25 or even just a buck 30. Until then, short term, a little bit of sideways, probably a little bit of downside, but ultimately long term, very, very good. Weekly, powerful, just consolidating here. And again, this is a healthy consolidation, but do we get another test down to like mid 130s? I think very possible here. All higher term timeframes though are bullish, obviously. And let's go check out momentum also to just see if they can help out with some short-term biases here. Hourly remains up as long as above about a buck 49 and 70. Okay, good. 4 hour is freshly up above a buck 47.70 as well. So maybe short-term this one does actually turn the corner here. 12 hour up above 155 essentially, and daily will also be up above 159 or so. So with that said, you know, assuming that those conditions continue to be met, I suppose I should be looking for this one to pop back up towards 155, 156. Personally speaking, though, looking at this right here, I do think that this one will actually break down. So coming up with a bit of ranges right here. Technically speaking, I suppose, you know, you could look for the momentum play, although I wouldn't really trust it in this current scenario here. As long as you're above about a buck 47 on a 4 hour closure. Below there, I would be looking for that move down into the mid 130s sometime this week, and very likely a bounce there. And again, long term, I mean, this is a phenomenal chart. It's just short term, still sideways and more or less corrective. I mean, you know, here's a real direction of this thing. Here's what I'm essentially looking for. Blup, 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 blup. Something like that, man. You know, this thing's operating on higher lows as long as you're above about a buck 30. So I do like that. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful for Solana's. Probably more of a boring chart here, to be fair. Yeah, still fine. Yep. So hopefully that was helpful, and there you go. All right, nice one. Let me take another sippy sip of this. Nekin says, remember the last time we faded the pi cycle? That is very true. Did not end up too well for my bullish bunghole there. Edward Preston Arco says, thoughts on MTV USD? Sure, this is multivac or multivax, or Penya's gonna love this one. Here we go. Looking good though. I'm bullish on this thing, man. I'm looking for this one to pop back up north of 2 cents. Not really saying too much right there, but 2.12. Even just run at your prior highs in this case. This is a good chart, man. This one's very likely to make new-all-time highs. Maybe this month, probably November. Strong, man. Very, very strong. Yeah, 2.2 cent is kind of where I'm looking towards on this one, man. It's good. It's good. Invalidation below about 1.8 cent, of course. Until then, man, this thing is trending. This thing is bullish in all time frames, basically. Fucking good, man. Hidden bullish evidence on 4 hour RSI. Daily's just continuation here. Hidden bullish evidence on last local low. Looking for this one up and to the right, sir. Up and to the right. By the way, looks like this consolidation is nearly over, and a very healthy consolidation at that. I like it, man. I like it. What's up, Donna or Dana? Donna. Happy Monday to you as well. Could you please look at Ethereum at USD 4-hour and daily? Sure. This would actually be a good time to record this one as well. All right. Start it off right here. Here we have Ethereum versus the dollar, and we'll do general overview on this one. First, starting off with the daily right now, what do we see? We see a nice little correction down to the 21. That's completely fine. This one's still obviously looking good on higher term timeframes, and I expect on lower term timeframes as well. But let's see what momentum also have to say about this. We do see a bit of a short-term corrective phase. Again, daily BBWP pointed down right now, so we are contracting right here. And I look at this within the current context of the trend as more or less healthy and very likely to set in a higher low. How would you confirm this current area right here as a higher low, right around the 21, which is, pretty damn common stuff? I'd want to see a closure anywhere above 3,500 today, and then tomorrow I'd want to see this thing take out 3,590 to the upside. That would look really, really good, not just for a higher low right here, but also a resolution on this whole consolidation. And while I'm not a humongous fan of patterns, we actually do have a bit of an inverted head and shoulders kind of formulating itself right here. Let's just see, or dare I even look at this fucking Quasimodo shaped measured move here. Resolution above the top side of that would obviously point this thing back around, I believe it's per all-time highs. Yeah, just around 4,400 or so. So for what it's worth, that is in the cards right there. 5-day going to be closing tomorrow night, still looking more or less good here. Again, it should be denoted that 5-day BBWP is coming down below 5 percentile right now. So this one's looking for expansion probably a little bit later this month, maybe coming into next month. For reference, the last few times that we've seen BBWP like this low was basically early November of last year, and might remind you that was coming out of this base right here for an immediate 61% move, over the next few weeks, realistically. Then ultimately, just blends over for another 1,000%. So take that as you will. By the way, 5-day also confirming some hidden bullish evidence right there. Not necessarily a bearish thing, you might say. Also weekly, same thing, just confirmed another drive of hidden bullish evidence and also testing around the bullish control zone as well. This one's looking good, man. I am very likely bullish on Ethereum. Anyways, looking at 4-hour right here, what do we see? Bit of a short-term range, obviously. Could come back down to 34.65 or so. That's completely fine. I have no major issues with the short-term, especially as long as you're above about 34.50, we'll call it, on a 4-hour closure. Below there, I would look for another run at 3,300, and that's going to invalidate a lot of the things that we spoke about on the higher-term timeframes. And then I want to come back to it after that. I wouldn't have any further analysis on it just yet. Let's go check out momentum oscillators over here and see what they're suggesting for the time being, and then we will wrap this one up. Daily down as long as below 36.25, so I don't think it's going to be trending today, for example. 12-hour will pop back up above 3,600 as well, so a few things pinned within that region. By the way, nice little trend line formulating right there as well, protecting against the bullish control zones. That is good. 4-hour is freshly up as long as above 3,500, so a nice pivot right there at 3,500. That's kind of my invalidation for the shorter term timeframes, and hourly is above 34.50 or so. So a lot of things aligning around those pivots. 5-day, for what it's worth, will turn back up. Again, not closing tonight, but tomorrow night above 36.36. That would be really, really good for that next sort of continuation phase. And then the weekly, obviously not happening anytime soon either, but 3,600 would be the magical number right there as well. So, so for right now, I would still essentially, favor probably upside continuation, to be fair. Where is your short-term time frame resolution to the upside? I mean, you still got your uptrend right here. Here's your higher low compared to this last higher low from 6th of October. Continuation would be basically above that same 3,600 number. So a lot of things pinned around 3,600 above there. I really would be looking for this one to go on to, I mean, pretty much it's very likely to retest, above $4,000 at that point. It's very likely to just make new all-time highs and just just continue onwards and forwards from that price point, man. It looked really, really good. But for what it's worth right now, be aware of the invalidation points to the downside. In this current market environment, do I think that that's what's happening? Probably not, no. But, always have to be aware of your risk, obviously. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Ethereum. Sweet. Let's see. We got XRP Nahal, so I'll actually upload a video on that a little bit later today. So all good there. Frank's Saints says, major failure in 2 indicators that never fail. Yeah, the accumulation distribution monthly and the biweekly MACD equivalent to hash ribbons failing in March 2020. Can they still be right end of year? Okay, so the biweekly MACD to, whoops, wrong chart right there. Actually, I don't even have it on this chart anymore. I actually don't really care too much for MACD, to be honest with you. But yeah, the biweekly MACD signal, I would say, has failed, because you would have not expected the last local high to be taken out, because all of the ones prior to that did remain with the biweekly downtrend. Yep, Yeah, every single one of them. So that is pretty damn conclusive right there. So that would be a failure, yes. That would be 1 out of 4 iterations. And then the accumulation distribution indicator, that I would not say actually failed, because we did see a pretty nasty downside move when it did get its initial downside slope. That was coming in from obviously August, and we did, for what it's worth, I mean, we both tested about $7,000 above it, and then also came down about 22% below it. The thing is, though, is that anytime that we've seen, you know, those sort of turns and twists on it, it's always been a 40% move or more. So would I say that it's failed? I mean, 20% move is certainly not a failure, but it's a failure within the context of the historical relevancy of it. You know, I don't know what to make of it just yet. I think it's time to be open-minded about it, but I don't have anything really else to say about it, to be honest with you. You know, we're all looking at the same thing here, obviously. So is it equivalent to the hash ribbons failing in March 2020? Can they still be right end of year? It's, well, I mean, obviously there's a non-zero probability of, of turning around here, obviously. Do I think that it's very likely on the monthly? No, not really. You know, do I have to remind myself of the backfill analysis on the quarterly here? That is, I mean, it's still a little bit in the back of my mind's eye. If we were to see like a quick washout down to those regions, that would be absolutely fucking nasty. But hey, don't put it past anything in this market to do something absolutely fucking nasty, right? So, could it, basically the question is, can they still be right end of year? Yes, of course they can still be right end of year, but when it comes down to just very simple tools right here, it's like, I can't really be looking for that. I mean, especially as long as you're above 49,500, we'll call it, that's kind of my line in the sand right there. It's just not very likely to happen. It's also not really helpful as well, because it's almost $10,000 away from what we're on current price action. But that's kind of the risk that we take on when trading an asset that trades at almost $60,000. So yeah, man, nothing's perfect. Obviously, everything is destined to fail at some point, and that is why it's very, very important to be having invalidation points in mind as well. So yeah. That's all I have to say about that, I suppose. What's up, Winnie Choice 87? Hello, Sir Krown. What's up, man? Can we please look at the highly esteemed technologically advanced ACH Wabi? Okay. Great exchange to be on. Alchemy Pay. Okay, it's on Coinbase too, so it can't be that bad. And then again, they list just about anything nowadays. The fucking weird looking chart. Looking at a 4-hour daily. I don't know if I should be looking at this as just a sloppy altcoin and correcting in that fashion. I suppose, I do look at that at first glance just because, well, it's a pretty good move right here. It is on new ultimas already. I suppose that I would be cautiously looking at this as a 6-cent low right here, and very likely does work its way upwards and onwards from here. Look, that's going to come with a very obvious invalidation below 6 cents on a daily. I'd be looking for this one to correct further down, somewhere around about 4 1/4, maybe even as low as 3 1/4. Weekly, just going sideways right here, man. I'd probably be looking for another test of the downside of the range, probably another bounce around there. I think that's kind of what we're getting right now. And then a resolution of the short-term time frame range to the upside above 7.4 cent in this case, and look for a move back up towards the prior range highs, which is just under 10 cents actually. I'm more inclined to go with that, but it does look very, very sloppy here, but I expect that that's just because it's an altcoin. Obviously short-term time frames aren't a massive downtrend, but I'd give it the benefit of the doubt, man, just for that reason. I think it's just an altcoin, and that's the way that these things trade sometimes, man. What's up, Christopher O'Quinn? Arriving here late, but you still believe the Bitcoin will backtest the quarterly dildo? I mean, it's definitely possible, man. When you have something that's been 100% valid in the past, kind of have to keep an open mind towards it. But again, as we were just kind of speaking about it, it's not like my first interpretation of this chart, especially after taking out the last quarterly high. And it does. I mean, it's just not the most likely thing to be happening right here. Again, as we spoke about before, I have my invalidation point set out, but it's so fucking far away. It's almost just not even helpful. And I'd say that that's about 49,500 in this case, or you can just say $50,000. As long as you're above there, it's just not a relevant target. And even then, if it were to take out that region, your next target, realistically speaking, is like $42,000, not necessarily upper 30s or even mid 30s in this case. Can't even really be looking for that as long as you're above 42. So for what it's worth, I mean, is it relevant still? I suppose anything that's had a 100% hit rate in the past is relevant, but we've seen a couple of those things already mostly be negated. So I meant validation points set out. Until then, can't really can't really get too ahead of ourselves right there, I suppose. Go with the path of least resistance right here, and right now it is to the upside. Let's see, Kimchi says, hey Krown, what's up, man? Is the utility doggy coin set up for a Robinhood pump? Yep, we already looked at SHIB, so I recorded that one, and I think I'm just getting to this one a little bit later. I'll also upload it later today as well, so hopefully all good there. What's up, Dan Henderson? Telos Bitcoin. Okay. Telos, huh? And you're looking at a what? 4-hour and daily, as always. As always, guys, as always. Generally up here, obviously. Weekly's bullish. You might see another move down to like 92 cents or so, but that should be a nice opportunity. Short-term timeframes like a 4-hour are just continuation here. Maybe a short-term move to like 101 first, but ultimately path of least resistance yet again to the upside. I have no reasons to invalidate this, especially as long as you're above 91 cents. I'm looking generally up and to the right. The question is, do we correct a little bit down, a little bit southwards first? I'm inclined to say yes, but I think based off your question, you're probably more interested in the long term. And realistically, man, this is not what I'd call a bearish chart. Again, might come back down to like mid to low 90 cent or so, but ultimately I'm looking towards probably new all-time highs into November. Yeah, these are strong charts, man. These are strong charts for what it's worth. So there you go, sir. What's up, Junior Riggs? Hey, what's up, man? Cardano USD one-day chart. Let's do it. Do it, sir. Where's my... Oh, nope, it's alphabetized now. Where is she? 220. Man, this one is sloppy as all fuck. Yeah, this is a very sloppy chart. Okay, so the question is, did we hit our 250 target based off of last week's analysis? Yeah, there's 242.5 right there. I think that's close enough in this case. Weird chart that we got going on right here, but I think that the weekly kind of smooths out this data. I know you didn't necessarily ask about it, but I expect Cardano probably gonna have another test towards the downside of the range, somewhere down around about low $2 or so, and also probably test the upside of the range as well of 240. I am more biased towards this one sitting in a base here. It's had multiple chances to break down, keeps on getting accumulated about $2. So, I would remain long-term bullish on this one above $2. Do I think that we're gonna test down around there? Probably, yeah. Let's see what the low-term timeframes look like. What do we have right here? We actually have a move in the making like today. For our BBWP is coming off the ever-loving lows right there. Now, I would say in validation on the short-term timeframes below about 216, 217 or so, and I'd be looking for that next move down to low $2, probably another bounce around $2 as well. I'd really get concerned about this one if you do start to close dailies below $2, and I'd be looking for a corrective phase down to $1.70 to $1.75. Until then, I think you're just short-term ranging and probably does pull through. Again, keep in mind the higher-term timeframes right here. Monthly does say that we probably do correct down first, but I'm just not bearish on a chart that looks like this long term. The question is, where do we find our lows? And it's either $2 or it's or about 170 or so. I don't really have a strong bias towards either one of those. If I am looking at the short term timeframes right here, if you're bullish, you're looking at this as a slew of higher lows. If you're bearish, you're not looking at that. You're basically just looking at this as a downtrend on the daily is what you're looking at. But for right now, I kind of respect this for what it's worth. And, the obvious areas to be looking for and declaring this current consolidation resolved would be back above about 230, especially on a daily. Then I'd be looking for moves back up north of $2.5, probably somewhere more around about 265 to 270 or so. And at that point, you probably just look for up and to the right yet again, man. But a very sloppy one right here for Cardano. And not the most obvious chart to me, to be fair as well. So I should always be open and honest about that. Perhaps even a healthy amount of I don't know is the proper answer on this one. But kind of see both ways in this. If you're bullish, you're looking at this as higher lows. If you're bearish, you're looking at this just a downtrend. Both are technically right here. So just have those pivots in mind. Realistically, what do I think that you're doing? I think you're doing something like this, man. I think you're doing something like this. You're gonna be doing blup, 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 and then probably something like that. Or if you break down, then well below $2, look for that move towards 170 or so. And hopefully that was helpful right there, man. What's up, Aaron Depp? Exciting times. One short and long term. I remember this one was looking really good last week. Harmony, that is. Harmony 1. Who we got? Yep, still looking good, man. Let me take a sippy sip of this. Good old water, baby. Good old water. Harmony 1. New all-time high party, I think, is well, it's already well underway, but I expect that this one moves towards 30 cents before we see like a decent sized daily pullback. For right now, this is just a continuation, man. Short term, do we see move down to 22.5? Perhaps yes, completely fine though. I have no issues with this thing, especially as long as you're above, let's call it 19.5 cent or so, even on a 4 hour. This one is again looking up and to the right. Hidden bullish divergence on daily RSI. Volatility continues to increase. Yeah, good, man. It's good. Long term, probably looking even north of 30 cents as well. I mean, this is just straight up continuation here, man. One looking good, man. One looking good. Again, as long as you're above yesterday's spike low, I'm just looking sideways and to the upside, sir. Sideways and up. In this case, this one's actually trending on all time frames, so I should be bullish on pretty much all time frames here. In fact, 4 hour. We're not going to have hidden bullish divergence there. That would have been a much easier call. So I do think that this one could have a very short-term move down to like 22.5 cent first. Ultimately, though, nothing really changed for me above, what was it, 19.5 cents, I think it was. Definitely exciting times, though, for that one. What's up, astronaut? My son bought CRO and is close to being a millionaire. Should I let him just trade? Well, I mean, it sounds like it's his money, or I don't know. Should you let him? Probably probably good to take profits once you do start to get some more of those interesting numbers, especially if it's a big number for you. I do think that this one does have some more upside here, though, for what it's worth. I don't think that you really have to do more than just follow the current trend. And on the weekly, this one's been obviously to the upside ever since its inception in 2019. Actually, this one was certainly before then, because I remember it in 2017. But this is good, man. I'd be looking for this one to move north of 22 to 25 cents or so, and very likely to make new ultimate here as well. This is the market environment for these sorts of things. Market's kind of just all moving together realistically. And if you're looking at short-term timeframes, yeah, do you see some moves dip back down to like 18.25? Possibly, yes. I don't think that's what you're interested in, though. If you're talking about big moves like that, you're probably looking at the greater trend. And yeah, I do think that this one's going to probably make another move towards a quarter, and probably is going to make new all-time highs maybe around end of year. Good, man. It is good. So hey, congratulations though. $1 million is certainly nothing small, and that's awesome, man. Very happy for you. Is that, yeah, it is astronaut. I'm unsubscribing, sir. We do have to like go one by one, so well, whatever, man. All right. What a fucking dickhead. Jesus Christ, man. Sir, you got $1 million now. Be happy. Jesus Christ. What's up, W? Any idea on ILV? Sure. Yeah, and just in case if anyone's wondering, we do have to work through these comments like one by one, so obviously they're not going to be answered like immediately. Sorry, sir, but yeah, even your $5 comment as well does have to go in the same list. It's all equal here, sirs and zers. Anyways, ILV, I'm guessing it's this thing right here. I'll be looking for a short-term bounce here, though, but I do expect that this one, if I'm just looking at this one on its own, it is toppy, yes, probably does work its way down. Problem is, can you really be bullish on an altcoin when you're going to be, bearish on an altcoin when you're looking for upside resolution on Bitcoin? Probably not, man. It's not very wise in my experience, but short-term bouncy, I'd like to see it reclaimed 669. Until then, I would be looking for further downside, actually. Probably down to like 565 to 580 or so, with bounces along there, and well, come back to it after that. But really not much history here as well. You didn't give me a time frame on this one, so I don't really know where you want me to go with it. Short-term bouncy though, until it reclaims about 660, I do look for this one to continue onwards and downwards here. For what it's worth, we'll see if it actually goes contra to the general market's direction. What's up, Gemini Athlete? XLM daily and 3-day weekly. Okay, so higher term timeframes for this one. I'm gonna pull up STR. It's the same chart, just in case you where. Looking good here, man, on the daily. Silver crossed the upside, so I am bullish on this thing as long as you're above 32.5 cents. In fact, this is actually a pretty easy one to trade right there too, just because the invalidation is so close. Are you looking at a 3-day? I'm actually not a big fan of the 3-day chart for what it's worth, but the 2-day I think gets things really, really well. 3-day, I don't have any opinion on that. Buy daily. This one's actually closing tonight. Looks fine. Again, bullish as long as you're above 32.5 cents. Pretty easy pivot to be playing right there. Weekly, same thing. Weekly's Weekly's suggesting upside, man. Weekly's suggesting a move towards 40 cents and probably beyond. We have a nice higher low right here on the weekly. Most of this market's doing the same thing. This one a little bit of a laggard, but wouldn't be surprised over the next few months to see it, you know, around half a buck or more. It's fine, man. Yeah, I'm seeing the next comment from Astronaut. He sent in another super chat to say, "Okay, well, thanks for nothing. It was an honest question, sir." And then his next comment, "Unsubscribed. Thank you for letting me know that you unsubscribed, sir. Do you also wear a condom when you jack off?" Audio rect still clipping every couple seconds. Is it okay now? Can you listen on your headphones and tell me if it's good or not? The audio, sir. Mario Mara says, can you take a look at nvda? Thanks a ton. No problem, man. No problem. nvda. Okay. See what we got going on over here. It's fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it was probably just for a little bit there. I don't know what time frame you're looking at, Mario, but if you're looking at higher term time frames like a weekly, I like this as a local low. I like it. I'd be looking for this one to work its way back to 220 from here. Monthly's long-term fucking mega bullish, but Jesus Christ, this thing. Here's a real chart, by the way. That is just insanity, man. Oh my God. Short term, I don't know what time frames are going off on this one. You do got the gap fill right there. I'd be looking for this one to try some upside today. I really only get bearish on this one below about 195 or so. You know, do you have any? So if I'm going to be looking at this as a lower high, I want to see some hidden bearish evidence alongside of it as well. We don't see that, so I'm more inclined to say this one does pull through here. Only bearish below about, let's just even call it $200 right there. Jeff says, hair looking fucking bullish. What? What did he want to look at? That was TLOS. Yeah, that was it. Okay. Still bullish. Still looking back around 2,000 plus. This one's gonna make new ultimas, man. This is good. Good, sir. It's good. Invalidation is obviously going to be below about 1650. Don't think it happens, but that would be my invalidation until then. Looking for this one, put in another move around 2100 satoshis and very likely continue on to new ultimas. This is good. Very, very good. Can you have a look at dydx? Yeah, on the hourly, 4 hour and 12 hours. Sure. dydx. Okay. And you're looking at mostly lower time frames. Okay. Yeah, new one here. Slop it on the hourly. Okay, there we go. This is good, man. Everything's good. Everything's pretty much good today. Looking for another move back towards 2675 or so. I do think this one's going to just trend towards new ultimas here. The 12-hour kind of helps even everything out. 12-hour RSI tells a story. This is a healthy consolidation thus far. You know, resolution back above about $27, and then the new all-time high party can begin once again. Probably looking at an extension towards $30. And then a bit of a consolidation somewhere between about 30 and 28 is what I'd be looking for. Until then, looks good, man. Be aware of the invalidation, but these things are mostly, I mean, this is the market environment right now where you can just kind of, I guess, glide on through, I suppose, for better or worse. What's up, Miles G's investments? Okay. Bitcoin really respected 100% the bullish flag and ascending triangle pattern. Very bullish, very technical. Yeah, I'd agree. Cool. I agree. What's up, Poncho? What's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Do you think FTX will open an options order book or make it public? Yes, I do think so. I mean, they bought Ledger X, which was kind of like a very liquid options exchange. I think they're posturing for that. They already kind of have very bastardized versions of options, but it's certainly not ideal. For right now, derivatives is still the best one. I think like 80 to 90% of options volume is done there. So it's just, you know, it's a place you go to if you want to trade options. And in FTX, I don't even really think has like true options. I think you can only be on the buy side if I recall properly. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong, but ultimately, FTX at some point will very likely open that up. I suspect that was their reason behind buying Ledger X. So yeah, man. But for the time being, derivatives is still the place to go to, I suppose. What's up, Matt? Saitama. Okay. This is a new one. What the fuck? It's another dog shit coin? All right, well, this is the only one that I can find right here. What the fuck, man? The hell? I mean, I'll tell you what you already know. It's bullish. I don't have an opinion on this, man. It's so low that it's literally at 0, but somehow it's trending up. So, Look, it's going up and to the right, man. It's bullish here, but I don't know how much I trust a chart like this. It looks like it trades minimally, to say the least. It would only take one seller to bring this baby back down towards pretty much all-time lows. But for what it's worth, up and to the right, baby. Trade that one at your own peril, though. Again, man, this is just the market environment for most things right now. What's up, Martin Hunt? Can we look at algo on the 4-hour and daily? Still my long-term position. I don't understand. Okay, because I do know you, and we've had this ongoing conversation. I have absolutely no clue why you're even interested in looking at a 4-hour when you're trading for the next few months. Just for what it's worth, even a daily is like not that useful in that case. You want to be on a weekly, like a weekly and monthly, man. But hey, for what it's worth, I'll do the best to answer your question. Could we have another move down to like 163? Yeah, sure. This is fine though, man. Long term, here's your uptrend if you are trading for the long term. Again, I do think that you're going to get a test down somewhere around about $1.60, maybe a little bit lower than there. But realistically, you're doing something like this, man. It's going sideways for a while, and then probably something like that, if I had to guess. If you really want to look at a 4-hour, you already kind of got your anemic balance off the 4-hour 200 right there. Kind of be short-term bearish on this one as long as you're below about $1.85. Above $1.85, that would invalidate short-term bearishness and be looking for moves back up towards $2. Do I think this one's ready to like break out of the topside resistance just yet? Nope, probably not. More or less just going sideways here, but it is good. It's just not as interesting as a lot of the other charts that are more immediately bullish. BBWP is starting to expand on the 4-hour, and we do have downtrend for what it's worth right now. So I'd be looking for continuation first and foremost. Again, how low can this one go? I don't know, $1.60 maybe even as low as like a 155. But overall, pretty damn good. I'd really be looking for daily BBWP to like trend down below 20 percentile before this one's probably ready to actually break out long term. Till then, higher term timeframes are good here. Just be aware of your invalidations, and hey, this thing below about $1.55, I'd be bearish on it for what it's worth. I don't think it's what's happening here, but I think you're just going to be kind of sitting with your twiddling your thumbs there, man. Again, I don't understand, because I do know that you're looking at this one months down the road. There's, in my opinion, absolutely zero fucking reason to be looking at a 4-hour unless you just want to sandpaper yourself to death, man. But it's your life. It's your life, man. Short term, I'd probably be looking for this one to trade back down towards 175. Below there, I'd be looking for an actual extension all the way down to like 168, 165 region. Cool. Dan Henderson says, hello again, sir. Telos versus BTC. Oh, no. Okay, so he came back twice. Okay, so we got both the US dollar and the Bitcoin parent. Right, we're good there. What's up, Dan Decker? I appreciate that, man, but feel free to have a message as well, sir. BH says, hi, sir. Can you look at IBM General Long-Term Health weekly, monthly? Sure. International Business Machines Corporation. Nice. It's a very, very well-defined name. You know exactly what they're doing. I haven't charted this one in like, it's got to be a year or two. All right, let's just redo this chart. This is good right here, though. You do have a reversal in the monthly, it looks like. You got a slew of higher lows right here. You got your higher high right here. You even have another back test on 135 right there. Good. I am long-term macro bullish as long as you're above 135. Looking for this one to work its way back up towards 160, probably even 180 over time. I mean, this is fine. Now, what time frames are you looking at? Weekly and monthly. Okay, got it. Yeah, long-term, man, I'm actually pretty damn bullish on this one as long as you're above about $135.5. Weekly golden cross, as long as you kind of trade sideways right here, that would look really, really good, actually. BBWP is contracting this whole way through after the weekly reversal. Yeah, probably going to be good. Also means, if you do trade back down below 135, I would be bearish on this one. Don't think it's what's happening right here, but as long as you're above there, generally good, man. What's up, Dan Decker? Okay, there we go. QNT. Okay, got it. Greetings from the Netherlands. Nice one, man. One of my favorite places in the world is Amsterdam. It's a great place, actually. Really, really nice people, and you guys speak better English than like Americans. It's kind of funny. Let's see. What time frames are you looking at? 4-hour, 12-hour, and daily. All right. See, 4-hour. Short-term sideways, man. A lot of these are short-term sideways, actually. Let's get our ranges set. This one's pretty simple. We're looking at anything too interesting as long as kind of trading between about 345 and 265 long term. Daily, if we get another test down around about 265, it looks like we could very easily do that. That should be an opportunity, however. 12-hour. 12-hour does suggest downside test first, however. You see multiple drives of hidden bearish divergence, so I am inclined to say this one probably does come back down and test around here first. 275 or so. Probably is going to bounce there as well, man. Resolution of the upside, and probably, looking at pro-time highs above about 345 in this case. 4 hour. Yeah, a little more downside angle here too, man. So we do see some things in this market actually more corrective than others, but if you notice, a lot of the ones that are more corrective right now are the ones that were firstly moving in the summer months. So this would be among those, as it was one of the better charts during that time. Long term, still, very, very good here. Just looking for a bit of sideways essentially, and probably going to resolve itself to the upside maybe in November, December, something like that. Justin French in all capitals says, Akita. Sure, man. Get another dog shit coin over here. All right, we can do it. Poloniex somehow got listed there, and we have a dead heartbeat of a chart here. But this is the time for dead heartbeats to give you the pity pump, if you will. Absolutely fucking dog shit of a chart, man. I mean, look, man, you don't need to trade bullshit like this, I understand the allure in this, though, is that you can make money fast. You can also lose it super fast as well, man. But for what it's worth, is this one push through here? Probably yes. Out of an invalidation, very obviously, below about 123. 123. Until then, probably looking at another move short term towards 170 or so, and probably does actually push through over the next couple weeks to the upside. Just, well, you didn't give any time frame, so I don't really know where you want to go with on this one, but I would express caution, some major caution, not below what did I say, 125 earlier? I'd say 130 in this case, and look for this one to go back down to where it belongs, which is pretty much zero. But for right now, man, give it the benefit of the doubt. Probably rallies a bit more. I really just don't trust charts like this, man. You're basically playing the pump and dump game, and you never know when it's going to pump. You typically know when it's going to dump, and it's typically after it pumps, and then you get to go through one of these again. So with that in mind, man, I really shouldn't even give an opinion on this, because I don't really have a good understanding of when the pumps and dumps actually do happen. In fact, you could make the argument that this one already pumped up and we're just getting ready for the next dump phase. In fact, I would confirm that below 130. So do be aware of where your risk is. Until then, theoretically, I should be looking for more upside, but charts like this, man, they should not really be traded, to be honest with you, man. Let's see. Marcus Etheridge says, "Hey Krown, what's up, man? Can you take a look at CBA? Can only do one at a time, man. My voice can only handle so long, and we're already 140 into this. Let's see. Is this a crypto or a stock? I'm guessing it's a stock here. I'm guessing you're Australian, or maybe you're English. I'm guessing it's this. Generally good. Daily, I'd be looking for it to move back up towards 106, 107 region. Long term, is this just continuation? It is, yeah. Apparently, I've charted this one before as well. You just had a nice falling channel right there, resolved to the upside. This one's getting ready for I suspect, a new all-time high party. Yep, very, very powerful chart here. Macro bullish, pretty much bullish on all time frames, actually. You're looking for short-term upside, short-term, medium-term, and long-term upside. Invalidation on this one below about $1.02 or so. Until then, I'm just looking up and to the right on this thing, man. This one's fucking strong. What's up, Daniel Levitt? Or sorry, actually, I skipped Zen626 says, "Hi, sir. I feel like learning to trade is lonely and frustrating. Any advice for someone trying to keep headstrong through the learning process?" It should be kind of lonely and frustrating. I mean, emphasis on the lonely part. When you're first learning trading, like obviously you need to learn it from some sort of a source. So that's probably why you're on YouTube, searching around, and that's a fine place to learn. But here's the thing, and we were having a really good discussion about this in the Discord yesterday. At some point, you actually need to remove yourself from all outside influences and nail down exactly what your particular strategy is going to be, because it's naturally going to be in some way, in some odd way, a little bit different than someone else's. In fact, maybe I should record this. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to record this one. Okay, here we have a really good question from Mr. Zen626. He says, "I feel like learning to trade is lonely and frustrating. Any advice for someone trying to keep headstrong through the learning process?" All right, so let's kind of talk about the life of, or like the lifespan of learning here. Because I mean, you're always going to be learning, but when you're first beginning is what I'm assuming you're coming from the perspective of. So how does that work? Well, first things first, when you first start out, you obviously need some sort of outside inputs. That's the informational learning gathering phase. That's probably why you're on YouTube, searching around how to trade or stuff like that, and looking at things like this channel, which can be okay to start with. But here's the thing. once you kind of have, you know, a general idea of what you want to do, you actually want to remove all outside influences. You want to, I would tell you straight up, do not watch this channel. Probably don't want to watch anything. Don't go into Discord situations. Don't do it, because at some point you need to go into your own little cave essentially and work your strategy out in exactly the way that works for you. So we having a really good discussion about this in the Discord yesterday. Funnily enough, and basically what we were discussing is that, you know, people can have this, they can be using the same sorts of edge, whether it's an indicator, whether it's flow analysis, whether it's whatever the fuck, but the way that they trade that source of edge can be completely different. In fact, it's almost always going to be unique from person to person. In fact, I would even go as far as saying it almost needs to be unique. If you notice on this channel, I never really give out like specific things, because I don't think it's actually going to be helpful for people. You're not going to have too much success just like blindly following someone and coming up with a strategy that way. You want to sort of go through the template and see, okay, this is what like a good setup looks like, and then create it for yourself that is going to be in alignment with your own personal preferences as a trader, and something that's going to be relatable to you and sustainable for yourself to maintain over time. Until you do that, you're never truly going to be professional and on your own, because to be a professional trader, or to be a trader in general, is to be in isolation and is to be your own authority, which means that you have to be comfortable with making the calls for yourself, not looking towards any other outside input. Although it is completely fine, and what I love about the Discord is that once you go through that learning process and kind of isolate yourself, then you can come back, and it's like you're coming back to the fucking tribe, and you can relate as colleagues, and you can share ideas without letting the other ones influence you, because you've already naturally gone through that process and solidified what you need to solidify. So I'd say it should be lonely, actually. The beginning phase, however, you know, yeah, that's when you can kind of peruse around YouTube, maybe, I don't know, read a book. I didn't really find too much success with that when it comes to trading. Maybe be in some Discord community to just see what other successful traders' plans looks like, and then start to base something kind of around that template, and then morph it slowly into your own. That's where you want to be, and then you become your own authority, and then that's when you essentially have your skill for life. And yeah, it is frustrating. Of course it's frustrating. I mean, it's fucking difficult. Otherwise everyone would do it, and we'd all be rich as fuck, and that's just not what most people do, right? And that's because most people are not comfortable being their own authority. I know that, you know, you're probably gonna have a knee-jerk response, or people will have a knee-jerk response, say, yeah, man, I want to be my own boss. I want to do this. I like the lifestyle. Like, okay, but are you going to go through the rigmarole of actually learning it? Because first you got to, like, you know, learn the basics of what